When I was younger, I used to be absolutely terrified to show people my interests because when I did, I would be told that it was cringe and that I should stop liking those things because it's cringy and it's bad. I found that didn't necessarily make me like things less, it just made me less expressive of the things that I liked, which is, I'm gonna be honest, not cool. So I have decided to make it my life's mission to take the things that I used to shove in the back of the closet, in the back of my mind, and never tell anyone about, and wear it proudly on my sleeve. Not necessarily as a way for attention, but as a way to tell other people that honestly, what's cringe and what's not cringe should not matter to you. And sometimes letting the cringe win is the path to happiness. This week we are making a Fantroll from Homestuck. I know, we're taking it a step up on the cringe level. Now, last time I did this, I did a Gemsona from Steven Universe. And that one was actually relatively easy just because I didn't have to think a lot about it. It's really just a stone, a color, maybe a weapon or two. It's not that big of a deal. It's not as extensive as other OC making rules. Homestuck is honestly one of the more complicated and extensive OCs that you can make. Like, just Homestuck in general is overly complicated, overly long, and has way too many things that if you haven't already spent hours and hours and hours in, it's hard to understand. For this video, I'm going to make it as easy as possible to understand. However, there may be some terminologies and some things in the drawing itself that may be a little bit harder to explain in layman's terms, so bear with me there. I needed to start with the first and easiest step of making a troll. First thing you know about trolls, it's usually the horns. However, that's a step for way later. That's the easiest part. The second easiest and the first step you should start out with is the blood color, actually. Now, for Homestuck trolls, there are 13 different blood colors, but in this case, we're just going to talk about the 12. Each troll in Homestuck has a different blood color, and this blood color means that they have a different social class. I don't get necessarily too much into the social class, but all you need to know is the violet bloods and the fuchsia bloods have fins because they are sea dwellers. Everything else, they are land dwellers or trolls without fins. I did not know what color I wanted to do at first. I remember my first Fantroll was a sea dweller, and I didn't necessarily want to do that again, so I decided to do a land dweller. That narrowed it down to 10. And then I went with my favorite color, which is orange. So we've got a bronze blood on our hands. The character in Homestuck that is a bronze blood is, of course, Tavros. Now, from here, this is where I start to be a little bit more liberal with my design, because back in, I want to say 2016, 2018, after Homestuck was completely finished, the Homestuck website, they made the extended zodiac and they made quizzes to find out like what different aspects and what different characteristics that you would have or a character would have. Now, the extended zodiac, there are a lot of different variations of basically the Taurus sign for bronze bloods. I did not want to do that, mostly because, if I'm going to be honest, I'm not the biggest fan of the extended zodiac, so I am going to be going after the rules that most of Fanon had from when I was very, very active in the fandom, because honestly, that's more fun than choosing off of a list of extended zodiacs. So before the extended zodiac existed, we would find a constellation and we would use that. Seeing as everyone's zodiac, of course, is a constellation. So it stands to reason that there would be other constellations for the different trolls in Alternia. So I tried to go through, find different constellations and things like that. Not a lot of them caught my eye until I saw the sign for Canis Major. I basically wanted to find something that would be easy to draw on a shirt, because that is also very indicative of trolls in general. They have the symbol of the constellation on their shirt in their blood color. So I saw Canis Major, I thought that it was pretty easy, and also it means big dog. So I'm like, okay, this was the one that I had an idea for instantly. And because there are so many steps to making a Fantroll, I just decided that I was going to go with the easy route, because if we were gonna go with the hardest difficulty for every single thing, we're gonna be here forever. So we've got our blood color, we've got Canis Major, and we have, that's it. We have a troll who is a bronze blood and is Canis Major, which means big dog. So when it comes to Fantrolls, or when it comes to the trolls of Alternia, their looks and their names are very, very much based off of the zodiac that they have. For instance, we've got Solux, who is a Gemini. Literally, his name is Solux Captor, which is a play on Pollux and Castor, which are the Geminis, the twins. And he has everything doubled because twins. I needed to make his design based off of Big Dog. So I was thinking, okay, let's make a golden retriever boy. My first idea was to take his horns and basically make them look like dog ears. And I knew that the ear, like the floppy ears, wouldn't have translated well onto horns, so I decided to make them more like wolf ears with like the fluff and all, just to make them kind of like spiky. Kind of like how Nepeta has her horns look like cat ears, because she's based off of Leo, which is a cat, of course. I did the little spiky dog ears, and then from there I had this idea of like a lanky boy who just kind of flops around everywhere. He's just a playful golden retriever boy. Love him to death. I just wanted lanky boy. And then I had the idea of, okay, so I don't see a lot of trans mask characters for Homestuck, or if they do exist, I'm not on the side of the internet where they do exist, which please get me over to that side of the internet. I love having trans characters and stuff like that. So I made him trans mask. With his design, I wanted to do like the muscle shirt with like the binder peeking out, because I think that is blessed. I love that. So we've got him muscle shirt with his sign, binder peeking out, skinny jeans, and like knockoff Doc Martens combat boots type of look. Was very, very happy with the look. Gave him a mullet because I love mullets, and he just is a floofy boy. I decided to redraw some of his poses, that way I could get a full-on look of him. One of the poses, I kind of was like, okay, this is nice, but it's a little boring. I want him to be holding something. And I was like, okay, well, why don't we draw him a weapon? Which kind of opened up an entire Pandora's box of Strife Specify. Strife Specify is basically something that you get at the beginning of the game that you play in Homestuck that determines what weapons you can use for the rest of the game, which is kind of sucky whenever you think about it. The applications are endless. Thankfully, there was a list of that out there, specifically from a frame of Homestuck. So I was able to pick one off of there that I thought would work, and I specifically picked bat kind, or baseball bat kind. And then I'm like, okay, cool. We've got a baseball bat, but I don't want it just to be a plain baseball bat. And I also didn't want a baseball bat with like just plain old nails in it, because I wanted there to still be kind of a whimsy vibe, you know? So I went ahead and thought, okay, what about rock candy bat? Even though there's nothing about his design that says rock candy anywhere, my brain was like, ooh, okay, crystal rock candy bat. And then after I had drawn the line art, I was like, canine bat, which I still want to do, but I had already drawn the line art, and I was already a good few hours into this design, and I needed to go to bed, so I just colored it in, and I want to draw him with a canine bat where it's just a bat with teeth in it, because it would make sense. Canine, big dog, teeth bat. And also it would still mean that there are spikes in the bat. That would be pretty dang cool. So at some point I will redraw him with a canine bat, but not for this video. But anyways, here is the design that I have so far. This in itself took me hours and hours and hours. I didn't even want to get into god tiers or whether or not which planet he dreams on. It was just the design, because if not, I was going to be here for days, literal days, and I have a full-time job on top of this. So Here is the bare bones Fantroll that I have. And so I had to think of a name, and this took me an hour, if I'm gonna be honest. The names are based off of, again, their zodiac or their constellation. And Canis Major is big dog. So I decided that I was going to have it dog related at some point. There's also a rule with trolls that their names have to fit into a 6-letter motif. So their first name is 6 letters and their last name is 6 letters. It limited my choices significantly. So I had to find a dog related name with 6 letters twice, which is hard. However, I did find Cusith and Cavil. Cusith is a mythological dog, and Cavil is actually the dog that King Arthur had. So I'm like, okay, dog name. It fits, it ships, we're doing it. So here is my boy, Cusith Cavil. He is a trans mask, bisexual, little tall drink of water of a man, and I love him to death, and I'm going to be drawing so much more of him when I'm not drawing stuff for my store. And I hope you guys love him as much as I love him, because look at him, he's so cute. I want to draw my Fantroll. If there's any other fandoms that you would want to see me make a character for, put those in the comments. If I feel so inclined, I may make that into a video. But in the meanwhile, if you liked this video, go ahead and give it a like. If you like videos like this, go ahead and subscribe and hit the bell. That way you are notified when I post. My notification team is tiny, but it is so mighty. I love them so much. And I will see you guys in the next video. All right, bye.